What's up, Lions? Welcome back to Mr. Shepard's Neighborhood. Today we're going to take a look at some Town Hall 10 attacks. I don't want to leave out our Town Hall 10s. My disclaimer, though, on this is I am not a Town Hall 10. I'm not an expert in attacks either with Town Hall 10 or against Town Hall 10. But that being said, I just want to show you guys where I think you should be focusing. If we look back at our last two wars, here's a war we lost by 7 stars. And if we take a look at the map, forget the Town Hall 10s, just count here. We've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 stars in a 15 person war. Just from Town Hall 8 and 9. 12 stars without even touching Town Hall 10s that we left out there. And then if we look at our most recent war, which was a tie at 1919, again, forget the first, the Town Hall 10s. Just look below that. 1, 2, 3 stars that we left on the table below the Town Hall 10s. In my overall strategy of war, I believe firmly that wars at our level are being won and lost at the Town Hall 9 level. So our Town Hall 8s and our low Town Hall 9s need to be responsible for 3-starring all the Town Hall 8s. And our higher Town Hall 9s and our Town Hall 10s should be responsible for our opponent's Town Hall 9s. So for you guys who are Town Hall 10s, I don't want you to worry right now about attacking other Town Hall 10s. Let's clean up those 9s. Let's get every star on those 9s, and we're going to win a lot more wars than we're going to lose. You can follow the same attack strategies as Town Hall 9s, just realizing that you have extra troops and the extra spell, the freeze spell. So there's no reason not to, is what I'm saying. Until you really feel comfortable about going after 10s and really going for the 3 stars on those 10s. With that being said, I want to take a look at Bob's attacks from our last war. Today I'm going to pick on Bob. It's going to be all about Bob. And that's pure coincidence, honestly. It's just because both of his attacks kind of do a good job of illustrating what I want to talk about. So we're going to start with his second attack, actually, which was against their number 4, Dino. We'll take a look at this base first. This is a very underdeveloped Town Hall 10 base, which actually describes a lot of our Town Hall 10s. I get the impression most of our 10s kind of rushed their way there, didn't work on walls, didn't maximize troops necessarily for the prior Town Halls. That's what a lot of people have done, and I know it's hard to catch up. I know you guys are working on that. Keep up the good work. But looking at this base, the first thing that I see, if I were attacking it, is this archer queen. Oh, that's ugly. Let's switch that with pencil. Much better. I see this queen right here is so easy to get to. The first thing I'm going to do is try to take her out because she will jump this wall no matter what you drop in her target area here. So if we click on her, you drop archers, barbarians, your king, whatever you want to drop over here. She's going to jump the wall and you can take her out really quickly. So identifying something like that early on is going to help you because the queen is so strong. She is one of the hardest, one of the biggest assets on any defense. You look at that, a level 4 queen, 172 damage per second, and that's from range. You look over here at a comparable, the king, a level 3 king, 124. The queen actually does more damage than the king at the same level. She just has less hit points, but she also doesn't have to attack in melee. So taking out that queen when you're planning an attack is really key. I also see right here the clan castle. I mean, the clan castle is easily pulled, easily within radius. So I'd go ahead and pull that thing too. Now, what's interesting is what Bob does. Bob doesn't do either of these things because his troops are just so strong that he just drops them and overwhelms this base. And that's what I see a lot of Town Hall 10s trying to do, is just overwhelm. Sometimes it works. In this case, it absolutely works. So let's go ahead and take a look at the replay. And I'll pause just for a second so you can see his loadout. You see he's got, let's see, 4 archers, 4 giants, 5 wizards, 4 P.E.K.K.A.s. Those max P.E.K.K.A.s are just killers. A couple golems, witches. I think he has witches in his clan castle, if I'm not mistaken. His heroes are pretty good, right around level 20. A couple freeze spells for that Inferno Tower there. This is just a heavy, strong army. It's a little bit of a mishmash, but the intention here, I'm sure, he brings the giants and the golems because the golems will be able to tank even for the giants while the giants are going after the defense. There's nothing else in his crew that will specifically target a defense. Everything else is just aimed at wiping out whatever's closest to it. And if you have an Inferno Tower that is set on multi, then you are going to need to bring a couple extra tanks. This is a very common thing to see at Town Hall 10 when you're going up against multiple Infernos. I'm sorry, multiple set Infernos. You'll see a couple of tanks and then kind of mini tanks, as it were, in giants or loons, something like giants or dragons, something like that. But let's go ahead and watch what Bob does. For all intents and purposes, this is a spam attack. This is a drop and pray. Sometimes we call it. He drops starts out on the corners here. He makes sure he takes out these builder huts with archers, which is really smart to just do that right off the bat, so you don't forget about it. You don't wind up with a 99% because you run out of time. And once those are down, he drops his golems to start drawing some fire. Gets some witches in there. Gets his giants down now that the golems are tanking, and just starts to go to town. So I'm gonna kind of speed this up a little bit, because it really is just kind of pure destruction. He waits for the clan castle. He drops his king and queen to take them out. Drops a whole bunch of firepower. And once he gets within range of that Inferno, starts freezing it. Freezes it not once, but twice, so that it can't do much. I'm going to slow down now so you can kind of see this develop a little bit. And then those P.E.K.K.A.s go down, and this cracks me up. I'm going to pause here because I can't think of a stupider thing to do on a base than have your Teslas outside like this. The Teslas are designed to kill P.E.K.K.A.s. So if you're gonna have Teslas, it's because you want to kill P.E.K.K.A.s, among other things, obviously. But the deterrent to P.E.K.K.A.s is walls. So you have to protect your Teslas with walls. If you don't, this is what happens, which is P.E.K.K.A.s just wipe out the Teslas, and now you just lost your strongest defense against the P.E.K.K.A.s. So I don't know why you do that. I really don't. But this guy does. Bob's P.E.K.K.A.s take him out in one swing. It's interesting. I mean, you can see from Bob's attack here even, his P.E.K.K.A.s are going for a walk. His queen's going for a walk around the outside. Which works because the walls are low, because his golems are in the middle. They're getting good tank. This is... There wasn't a whole lot of thought put into this. Sorry, Bob. But his troops are just really strong, and they overwhelmed this base. The best part of a couple, really strong points about this attack are that he did go for the builder huts first, and that he waited until the clan castle was drawn before he started dropping some of his troops that would latch onto that. Now, the other side of the coin, and this is why I show you that attack first, would be Bob's first attack, which was on number 2, Burke. And if you look at this base, this is what's called a southern teaser, because it has this big opening down here at the bottom, which teases and makes you want to come in that direction. And usually if they want you to come in one direction, there's usually a reason for that. There's traps. The buildings are designed to kind of funnel you a certain direction. And that is the case here. So if you look at these buildings, what's going to happen is, because all these buildings are right next to each other, but the mortar and kind of the second layer is, hey, looks like a smiley face, are spaced apart. Any kind of, except for golems or any kind of offense that is attacking defenses, when anything comes in here, it's going to shoot off and stray from the middle, the core of the base, which means it's going to be getting fire from these infernos and from mortars here, and this mortar isn't going to go down, and eventually the queen's going to pick up, and the expos. Everything is going to be attacking while your troops are straying to the sides. They're not going to be inclined to go to the middle no matter what, even if you drop a jump spell. Because these buildings are right next to each other, they're going to be inclined to keep going around to the sides. Even when they get to this archer tower, they're going to go back here to the army camp unless you take it down, unless you create a good funnel. They're going to go backwards and then keep working around, and they're just going to be taking damage that whole time. This base is designed to make you think this is easy access going right up the middle, but it's not. So you have to be ready. You have to figure out a way, if you want to go in from the bottom, to break that cycle and to force your troops into the middle. They also do a really good job. They have these high hit points buildings. Let me clear this out. But these high hit point buildings, the storages we talked about in our last video, right up here in the front, so that even when you get in there, you gotta knock through all these hit points in order to get to the middle, to try and get to the town hall, or to try and take these defenses down. So what happens, unfortunately for Bob, in this video, and embarrassing him in front of the whole clan, is if you look at his loadout, it's pretty much the same army that he brought to the other attack. The only difference is he brought a second jump spell instead of a freeze. So I think what happened is, because he did this attack first, he made the adjustment on the next one, decided to add the second freeze because the Infernos are just so brutal, and he realized he didn't really need the second jump on that other base. So let's take a look, and again, it's pretty much the same attack. He drops his golems first. He in this case, he's not going to be pulling out the clan castle, so I think that's why he started dropping his wizards and witches and queen, all his DPS. He gets those down pretty quickly. The golems are doing a great job of tanking, but again, now you start to watch what happens. The golems are also going to stray. They're not going to go toward that mortar. They're going to keep going off to the side. Everything else. This is interesting. I want to pause here for a second, because what happens here that I think really ruined this raid for Bob is he dropped his first freeze spell over here on this Inferno Tower because he was hoping, or he saw this start to clear out. He saw the golem over here. He was hoping that all his damaged troops would go this direction and follow the golem over there. Unfortunately, because his troops actually did a better job of clearing on this side, if you look, this army camp's already down, the archer tower here is already down, the wizard tower that was here is already down. Because of that already being cleared out, all these troops are going to go over in this direction. So they actually go away from his freeze spell, and they don't reap the benefit of that. And it's just bad timing. If you go back, if I could rewind the replay, I would. And show you that he drops his free spell right as this starts to go down. It's unfortunately bad luck on his side. So the Infernos just start taking everything down over here. And, he drops his last few forces here. The goal, obviously, here was he wanted those P.E.K.K.A.s to go straight in and take out all this stuff in the middle. And it didn't happen because there's just too many buildings still standing. And they just, they never really had a chance. So the point of this attack, I use this as a teaching tool, is, there is no such thing as a perfect strategy. You can't just say, oh, this works for me a lot of the time when I'm farming, or, this worked for me the last 3 wars. You really have to customize your strategy for each base. This particular loadout for Bob worked really well against one base design and didn't work against the other one. So I hope that you guys will watch and recognize that and learn from it and say, okay, I need to really think about the base and think about why it's designed the way it is. And if you need help, ask. That's what we're here for, to help you kind of to strategize around what's going to happen and figure it out. The last thing I want to show you is one defense from this war, and it's on Biggs. This was actually a surprising attack, because this opponent had already previously attacked Dot and had done a horrible job. It was really a terrible attack. So I did not expect him to be able to get 2 stars on Biggs. But I want to show you the reason why he was able to get 2 stars on Biggs, because this is an adjustment that I think you guys should make, those of you who are Town Hall 10s. The problem here is that Biggs has both of his Inferno Towers set on multi. Now, I don't have Inferno Towers, but every time I've seen them be effective on defense is when they have one set on multi and one set on single. The reason for that is they actually don't do a lot of damage on multi. Yeah, they get to hit 5 targets, but these level 1s, they do 30 points of damage a second. That is nothing to a dragon. Absolutely nothing. You can see that none of these dragons go down before they even get to that first Inferno Tower. On the other hand, when one is set on single, it does that heating up where it starts at 24 and then goes to 1200 per second. That can actually influence and take out dragons or anything else that you have going on there. Now, on the other side, you don't want to have both of them set on single, because the odds are then they're just going to swarm you and overwhelm you with a lot of troops, because the Infernos, it doesn't matter if it takes them out one at a time. If you have 100 troops coming in, then they're going to overwhelm them. So make that adjustment on defense. If you see yourself getting hit and the Inferno is just not really doing what you think they should do, try out one going each way, one on single and one on multiple, and I think you'll see some better results. That's it. That's it for the Town Hall 10s, guys. I won't be doing too much on the 10s because in general, again, I think you guys should be following what the Town Hall 9s are doing, and we should be working on getting every star we can on Town Hall 9s. But from now and then, from time to time, I will touch base and see how you guys are doing, and hopefully I'll grow, and as you guys get better and want to take on the challenge of taking out some of the opponents' Town Hall 10s, we will. I'll be back a little later with some more reviews from this war. There was some really good stuff in this war I want to show, but that's it for now. Thanks, guys.